Hello, John Fisher. Hope you've had a good week. Today we're going to look at another saint. Well, he's actually somebody who's not a saint yet, but a bit like Angelica from last week, he's in the process of becoming a saint. So he's reached the first stage, which is called Servant of God. And he is Akash Bashir, who died just over 6 years ago. In Pakistan. He's from Pakistan. He was in the news. I just found out about him last week because he was in the news because he may be the first saint from Pakistan. So quite exciting in the Catholic sort of news network if you follow that. So Akash, he was born in Lahore in Pakistan. He came from a poor family. He was quite a weak student, so academically very weak, didn't get good grades at all at school, so much so that he wanted to join the army, but he didn't get the grades in order to do that. His parents were a bit disappointed, but he said to his parents, I want to protect people and do something great. I want to make you proud. So he was still determined that despite his academic weakness, he was still going to make something great of his life. So he did carry on and do some studies after school, which he completed. He then joined a voluntary security force at his local Catholic church. He was a Catholic, St. John's Catholic Church in Yuhanabad. Probably pronounced that very wrong, but that's the church here. You can see it. The sign is falling down, but St. John's Catholic Church. And there what he did was he worked guarding the church from 7 a.m. to 12 noon. And the reason why he did that was because a lot of churches in the area had come under attack from terrorist attacks. Well, it so happened that Sunday morning, the 15th of March, 2015, Akash is guarding the Catholic Church when news breaks of a bomb attack at a Protestant church 500 meters away. So it just proves that Akash was doing the right thing, guarding his church. But then after Akash hears about this, moments later, Akash sees a young man running towards him with a belt around his waist. And this man tries to enter the church with over 1,000 people inside at the time. So Akash very quickly puts two and two together, and he realizes that this is somebody who in the end was part of the same terrorist organization that bombed the Protestant church. This was somebody else who wanted to enter the church and detonate a bomb with 1,000 people inside. So what does Akash do? He stands firmly in front of this young man and he replies, I may die, but I will not let you in. And indeed, what then happens is that young man detonates his bomb there and then. Akash is killed instantly, as well as some people who were gathered in the area around. Unfortunately, about 20 people died and about 80 were injured. But importantly, Akash manages to stop this man entering the church where there are 1,000 people, obviously full of young people and families. So Akash literally lays down his life to save so many more. And I think this is a very beautiful embodiment of that. Very quite famous verse from the Gospel of St. John, chapter 15, verse 13. This is the traditional translation. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. And that's exactly what Akash did. Even though, in fact, he wouldn't have known everybody in the church. They weren't all his family and friends as such. At the same time, they were his Christian brothers and sisters, and he wanted to save them. And so he stopped that man from entering the church, even though he knew it would cost him his life. So Akash, very brave. I'm going to finish this with a video that's been put together about Akash, just a couple of minutes, which you'll see afterwards. Next week, some learners may be doing a video, they may not quite sure yet. If not, then there won't be a video. But in any case, if I don't see you next week, I hope you have a great half term, that this half term has been good, and then the next one will be even better. So you have a good rest as well at half term. So all the best, God bless, and see you soon. Bye.
Akash was 18 years old when he stopped a suicide bomber from entering our church in Lahore. He was a volunteer to guard the church. There were more than 2,500 people that day in St. John's Catholic Church. Mass was being celebrated. He saw a man trying to storm into the church. The man said he had a bomb, but Akash didn't move. He held the terrorists to keep him from entering the church. The bomber blew himself up. Akash was killed instantly, but he saved many. It was an act of love. Akash was a young Catholic like me. He also experienced harassment, threats, and discrimination just for being a follower of Jesus. Akash, that like the martyrdom of many other Catholics in Pakistan, is our inspiration to endure until the end. In St. John's Parish, even after the attack and death of Akash, we have over 800 baptismas a year. We might be a poor church in resources, but we are rich in faith and love. I wonder if I could do the same as Akash. Even to convert to Islam would make our lives easier, but we don't. Every time I think of his death, I remember St. John's Gospel. There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friend.